Recently had a client come in, landscaping business, we'll say, to protect the innocent or as well in this case, the guilty. And they'd been open 10 plus years, not really struggling, but just stuck in the same spot. And the owner was telling me, hey, man, I just need some new tips, tricks, whatever the kids are doing these days on all the social media, this or platform that. I just need some leads. All the rest of it's taken care of. Cool. So when I start talking to them about, well, who's your targeted customer? Well, really, anybody, according to them, anybody with a yard. Okay, well, what's your products or service? It's pretty simple. What do you offer? Showed me a brochure of 14 different things they listed, all equally the same. I asked them what their competitive advantage is. Didn't really have one, just seemed to rely on a lot of generic customer service, quality, same thing that everybody else basically says. What about your branding? Oh man, I've outsourced that to the kids. And they did. The logo looked like it. The font was all over the place. Color scheme was just the rainbow of everything you could possibly imagine. And then that bled all into their marketing activities, and they were a lot like some of the other clients that have. They tried everything one time once, the spaghetti marketing method of throw it against the wall, and if it sticks, great. And if it doesn't, they don't. And when I talk to them, where's your customers come from? They smile proudly, as well they should. Referrals and word of mouth, which is the holy grail for all of us. That's what we want, is for our business to just be so good that it can't be ignored and people show up because everyone else told them to. However, we still have to add some marketing activities to continue to grow the business. And this one had plateaued and had been that way for a while. Blamed everybody and everything else under the sun, minus themselves. They did not have a foundation under that business in order to grow it. This is a lot like putting a coat of paint on an older house that might have great bones, but the foundation is settling and it needs to be fixed. For you, don't try any new marketing activities until, maybe in your case, you go back and watch some of the previous presentations on marketing that has to deal with who your customer is, what you offer, your competitive advantage, and your brand. Before we get too carried away, I'm Charles Alexander, Director of the Small Business Development Center of Ball State since 2007. What we do is very simple yet very effective. In fact, I would even consider this one of my marketing activities for you to know what we do. We offer free one on one business coaching for anybody that owns a business or wants to start a business. We also offer low cost, in some cases, free training for those same small business owners. Right now, I want us to focus on your marketing activities. You got the brand, you know who you're targeting, you know what you offer. We're locked in. Two things. First and foremost, I've got good news for you. You get to determine what your message is and deliver it in the way that you want to. It's easier than ever to create your own content. That's step one. And then you apply that content to different marketing platforms on a consistent and regular basis. Many folks see this as bad news because you got into the business to help other people do whatever it is. If you're a yoga instructor, to do yoga, to find peace of mind. If you are a car dealer, I'm looking at a car dealership like that helps you. If you're a car dealer, you want to be able to give folks reliable used cars at a great price. Many of my clients, you come to say, well, I don't want to be a quasi movie producer. I don't want to be a TikTok star. I just want to do my job and be left alone and just that be good enough. That's an employee mindset. You are an employer. You are in the content creation business of some way, shape, form, or fashion, but it does not have to be cheesy, narcissistic, insert excuse here. It can be fun, it can be good, and it most importantly can and should be helpful. If I were to take a look at business owners from when I just started in '07, much less 10 years before that, where everything was TV, radio, billboard, and very expensive and difficult to do, they would kill to have the opportunities like we have now, take it for granted, and then don't want to do. So, content. And this can, and at some point probably will be its own lengthy workshop. Why do you need to create your own content? Well, that's how folks are going to know who you are, why you're different, and that's how you build a know, like, and trust factor. If you're just taking pre existing content and reposting it over and over, you're probably seeing very mediocre to poor results. And I get that quite a bit, where somebody will take a meme, GIF, content that's created by a vendor, and then given to them, and then they just slap their logo or name on it and they post it to Facebook, Instagram, their website, email marketing, and it just doesn't get any results. Well, it shouldn't. It's not you. So, what are all the different types of content that you can create? I always tell folks to consider starting with video. The video makes up 81% plus of online traffic these days. That has been trending up, up, up. That is not going to go down. Video does not have to be complicated, and there's a lot of information that goes into it. But what we're doing now is video. You need a camera and a mic, and that's just about all there is. There's a ton of video software. It's on your phone. It's very easy to edit, short and sweet in most cases, unless you're doing a presentation or seminar like we are right now. I always say to do that first. And if you don't know what to create, think of it from a frequently asked questions point of view. What are the top 12? Better yet, what are the top 24 things that people ask you on an ongoing basis? I recently did this with an insurance agent that was telling me how boring insurance is. And I get that. But once we started to uncover the different questions this insurance agent would be asked about the difference between contents and structure for a dwelling, or what is a dwelling, or should I buy rental car insurance, or insert concern here, came up with 24 very quickly, record them in small bites, 60 to 90 seconds. And there's a reason for that. That's our attention span, not to mention that makes it very easy to share on different social media platforms. But once you do that, there's software online that you can use to transcribe it very accurately. Right now, as of this recording, Descript, Typeform, a couple of those. But once you do that, that helps you create written content because you've already said it. That helps you create lead magnets. Lead magnets are these things that people have to opt into your email address to get. You've probably done it yourself. You've done it with us. If you got into to this workshop now where you have your email, we're going to send you monthly newsletters to let you know what we're doing about other workshops that are coming up. So lead magnets can be a video, a how-to video. It can be tips, tricks, guides, how-tos, cheat sheets, just these easy one-pagers that have a catchy headline that somebody would give you an email address in order to obtain. Uh, Images and videos as part of your content. I have some bad news here for you. Let me show my smiling face. A lot of the images that are out there right now, photos, are stock. That means you got them from Pixabay, Unsplash, wherever else. Maybe you didn't even grab it appropriately. You just Googled it and snatched it. Don't do that, by the way. A lot of your content, a lot of your images, a lot of your photos have to be your smiling face. Yes, I know we all hate taking selfies, except for those of you that love it. Uh, why do we need that? Well, because nobody else can copy your face. If you ever take a look at real estate agents, for example, and I'll go back, real estate agents, insurance agents, financial advisors, a lot of people that are in an advisory role, but what they do has become somewhat commoditized, as in everybody else is not a big difference. You'll see their face a lot because that's one thing that sets them apart and makes them different. You're going to need to do that yourself, unfortunately, where people are more interested in getting to know you as much as they are just the products or services. So, you in action, there's a ton of filters and everything else you can do. Add that to it. Use written content with the images that you've taken from the transcription of the video. And even build out some case studies. When I say case studies, clients that have used your product, your service, they've gotten to know you, they like you, they'll give you a testimonial, short, sweet, to the point videos. Take the audio from the video and you can repurpose that as your own content. It doesn't have to all be podcasts, but that's an easy way to do it. And of course, every bit of this stuff can become print material that you use in actual print material. So get started with content. There's never going to be a right time to do it. You're never going to be happy with your first few pieces of content. You're always going to think that they're not good enough. And it's one of those areas where you just have to keep doing it over and over and over and over. Think of any area of your business, personal life, whatever it may be. You had to practice it to get good at it. Content is no different. You can outsource some of this, but a lot of it you still need to be engaged in, participate in. So once you create content, then it goes into the different marketing channels. website, video, email, blog, not dead yet, social media, podcasting, and seminars. Here's the caveat. We're about to go over a lot of these. Previous presentation we had was about more of your branding, about how to build that, but some of the ways that you brand is not necessarily considered a marketing activity. A brochure, a business card, a wrap on your vehicle is not a marketing activity. It's just part of your brand. Us taking that content, you taking that content and finding different ways to get it out there that's your marketing activities in a lot of cases. And I'm not even adding networking and prospecting and going to trade shows. That's part of the referral and word of mouth network that you need to be doing. Those do count as marketing activities, but they shouldn't exclude you from doing some of these other things that you need to be doing on a consistent and regular basis. And once you get into a flow of it, it becomes a lot easier. First and foremost, we're going to talk about a website very quickly. All of the examples I'm about to give you are from storybrand.com. Storybrand happens to be a fantastic business in Nashville that helps people clarify their message so people will actually buy stuff. I'm not promoting you to go take their 4-figure plus workshops that they have, although if you do, great. I'm just using them as an example because they're an easy example to use. Your website does not have to be overly complicated. In fact, it needs to pass what these fine folks call the grunt test. If you were to wake a caveman up who'd been frozen for, I don't know, how long have cavemen been around? I don't know, millions of years, and plop them in front of the browser, which would be fantastic. How long would it take for them to understand what you do? For example, if it takes longer than 3 seconds for someone to look at your website and fully grasp what you offer, they're probably going to bounce. And that's an actual term from analytics. They bounce. It has to be super clear. That goes back to the elevator pitch of what you offer, who it's to, and the results that they get. So these guys clarify your message so people engage. You'll also notice they just have a couple of things up here in the navigation bar and a couple of big buttons telling you what exactly your next steps are. And on your own website, if you've outsourced it to somebody else, great. I think that's a good idea. A lot of the developers out there will use WordPress or some other fun tools. They'll cost a couple of grand and up at least to develop a website, but that's part of our investment into having a storefront, so to speak. If you're doing it on your own, I would recommend utilizing something either like Squarespace or Wix, Wix. Either of those, they have a lot of cool templates. And if you're at the beginning or you're redoing it, it doesn't have to be 50 pages of website. You need the exact offer you have. A page may be full of case studies and testimonials, a page that has some of your own content that they can digest where they can build a know, like, and trust factor. And most importantly, a page about you, which so many about me pages have just this long paragraph that no one reads. It needs to be, again, your smiling face. I know this might be a little bit of an issue for some folks. Put your family on there. Put who you are and build a rapport with your clients. This is important. And there's a ton of other stuff that go into websites. We have online on-demand workshops that tell you more about website development and how to make it fast and tools that you can use. But those are the basics to get you started. If you look at your website and it looks like it was designed for Netscape 1.0, it's time for a refresher. Video. Going back to StoryBrand, they use a ton of video. They make it very professional. Things you need to create video, just kind of like what we're doing here. A good microphone, doesn't have to be this one. It can be, a Yeti mic or a Snowball mic, $50. Get a high def camera. I'm using a Logitech right now. Get a little lighting. You can see it bouncing off my head. That is a no-no. I didn't take time to fix it. And that's it. Mic, camera, light, recording software, and you're off and running. Most PCs, Macs, they have a built-in recording software. If you're doing it this way, for a lot of other people, they will simply use their, oh, look, my family. So see, now you have a know, like, trust factor with me, and you can even see the ring light as it pop in over there. It can be your recording tool set directly into a ring light. The most important thing that you do is have a plan before you get on camera. Have a script, know what you're going to talk about. For today, that's why I'm sharing PowerPoint as we go through it. 60 to 90 seconds is about all you need for marketing, engagement, storytelling, which needs to be preeminent throughout a lot of the things that you do that I try to do in workshops, seminars, or even the content that we create here. Tell people stories that engages with us way quicker than anything else. And then once you have that video, like I said, you can use online tools to get it transcribed, and then you have a piece of content that you can share over and over and over. Blogging is still a thing. Not a big thing as it used to be 10 years ago. Blogging was that's where everybody told you to be. And blogging still comes in handy right now because as you add new content to your website, the Google machine will help rank your keywords, anything else you have that people are looking for, according to it having new and relevant text on the site. But just as or more importantly, it gives you something to drive people back to your site. So you're looking at this, 5 strategies that will make you a strong negotiator, 3 helpful automation ideas. These are the type of headlines that people click on. And you think about anytime you need to figure out what you want to use in terms of a headline, there's a ton of online tools, headline testing tools that you can just Google and use for free. As bad as I hate to say it, go to Yahoo. Hate Yahoo. I have an email address with Yahoo. No, actually, Yahoo's fine. I don't want to get in trouble. But look at their headlines. They have a ton of catchy headlines that make me want to click on, figure out what's going on in worlds that have nothing to do with what I'm doing. But the blog itself, 200 to 300 words, 400 words, story base, end with some actionable items. Where do we get to use that? Well, preferably in your email marketing. And email marketing, for those people that say just do social media and no email marketing, might have misunderstood how important email marketing is. There's still 2 to 3 times the number of email accounts that there are Facebook, Twitter accounts combined. We all have email. Email has changed somewhat, but still relatively the same as it's been over the past 20 something years. So you don't have to get worried about algorithms. So what works with email marketing? We're at a point now where a lot of the email servers are, if you have a ton of images and a ton of links, they get flagged a lot. So what should you do? Just consider writing like a plain text email. Use MailChimp, Constant Contact, Active Campaign, whatever tool it is, and start building your email list. Email list doesn't have to be triple verified. It can be people that you know. Take business cards and start entering them in or scanning them in if you have the ability to do so. And then, as we talked about earlier, have something that people can opt into to still collect emails, but write it as a plain text email. And then if you want to put a link in, put a link back to a blog post, put a link back to a video that you posted. Put something where people have to come back to your website. That's home base. That's where you're trying to drive people back to on a continuous and regular basis. Again, what works well in email marketing? Personal images. If you're going to put in images at all, don't go out and grab a bunch of stock photo and cram it full. That's what everybody else does. Put in something that's personal. Put it in about you, your family, your activities, what's going on in the business, behind the scenes, employees, whatever it might need to be. Write plainly, right? Like you're writing to a friend. It does not have to be. You don't have to go back to your business communications 101 course where they told you what a professional memo looked like. We're getting away from that, and thank God we are. So write it like you would write a friend. Now, there's a reason we have so many different social media workshops. One of the issues I have, and it's not I have an issue with social media, I have an issue with a lot of clients that come in and they just want to go straight to the end. Give me the correct answer, what needs to be the image, the video, and the text that make people buy from me on Facebook, Instagram, insert platform here. That doesn't work. And there's little tips and tricks that can help you with algorithms that change every single day, but they're not long lasting if we didn't take care of everything else to begin with. And it's why I have so many people that become frustrated because they're trying to skip to the end. I've used this analogy over and over and over, but it would be the equivalent of me not stepping into a gym for years, talking to the personal fitness trainer and saying, hey, here in a couple of weeks, we're going to the beach and I need to be ripped. It doesn't work that way. There's no, I mean, there's no coming to save you, so to speak. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it and realize what a terrible product that was for weight loss, and that's what a lot of people think social media can be. So, what needs to be in your social media? So, let's go over a couple of the platforms here, and this will be just enough to kind of get you going. And I've already covered all of this. The algorithms they change daily. Socialmediaexaminer.com. If you need the tips, the tricks, the hacks, that's a good place to go. There's a ton of different places to go. I trust that one. But keep in mind, if you, I'm reiterating the same thing. Get the foundation first. All this comes second. Facebook, billions of people are on there. I know everybody has an opinion on Facebook as well. They should. So what's the demographic for it? Well, more folks, let's say my age, a few years younger, maybe, end up. Uh, Gen Xers, boomers, for you, if you have a business page, even if you're a solopreneur and it's just you, but you still have a business page, understand the organic reach for somebody to see, you have 200 likes, followers, whatever, it's really low. It's in the single digit low. So you're going to have to boost the post. You're going to have to create ads, and this is not a workshop on how to create ads because it's quite a process and it can be frustrating. If you do create ads, whether it's for yourself or you pay somebody, you must be patient that first 4, 5, 6 weeks. You're learning your audience and what they look at and what they click and everything else. So if you're paying somebody and you don't get instant results, be patient. It takes a minute to get that going. But most importantly, be personal. I mean, all right now, real stories, all of those things. And that's for today. As soon as I hit publish on this thing, that won't even be a thing anymore. Pay attention to what that is, but mostly, personal images, video, real action items that people can do something with is what they're paying attention to as much or more than ever. You're not going to just suddenly become an overnight sensation. In most cases, a lot of social media doesn't, for certain businesses that I work with, doesn't even drive in business. It's kind of the long tail, so to speak. After somebody hears about you through word of mouth referrals, they don't call right away. The first thing they do is go online and check you out. They go to your website. They don't pass the grunt test, they're gone. If they pass the grunt test, they look around, they see some social media icons, they'll click them. Did you post something recently? Was it fun? Was it personal? Did it make them want to learn a little bit more about you? And then they start engaging. Instagram, more youth driven. You got parents and younger. And I say parents, I just talking about an age. It doesn't have to be people that actually made other people. Shorter videos work here, 60 to 90 seconds. Stories, but mainly interacting with other people. And that's any social media. It doesn't mean you can go on there and just start, you know, blabbing away about whatever it is that interests you only and not go follow other people or talk to other people. And yes, selfies, you're still going to need them. LinkedIn, this is one of my favorites and probably the most boring. I have my own business on the side. I've basically built it entirely through LinkedIn because I have a full-time job and I'm not able to interact. It's a lot of business to business activity. Originally designed for networking, has turned into a legit social media platform. Yes, a lot of the stuff on there is boring, not nearly like you're going to find on the others. Uh, don't just post your resume. If you're doing this for business, that headline, put a short version of your elevator pitch in there. Don't say business owner of this. I help people stand out with explainer videos, or insert whatever it is you're doing. And yes, it still needs to be personal. And LinkedIn does give you more leeway of doing personalized outreach. Every social media platform has a direct messaging feature, and those can be effective. And LinkedIn, as much or more than any of them, will do that. You'll need to go back to Social Media Examiner or somewhere else to figure out a little more about what's the right time of day to post, what content works well right now for this platform, how many hashtags should I use, those type of things. TikTok. I'm probably one of the last people that should be talking to you about TikTok, but TikTok is super youth driven, short vertical videos, and I have no clue about the future of it. Either it's going to take over the world or fall off a cliff. But right now, it also has a direct messaging feature and is easy to build followers with. So you decide if it makes sense for you. Last one, Twitter. I don't know. I don't know the future of Twitter. I don't know if you like Twitter. I know that it works really well for, let's say, food trucks. Great example. Where am I at today? Type of thing. And it may work well for most of your businesses. But I'm not really doing a lot of help on Twitter these days. So back to your marketing strategies, seminars. Now, we talked about this in a previous uh, online workshop about branding. Seminars are very good for helping you build authority. If you are offering a workshop to anyone, it needs to be on content that they really want. That's why you see a lot of financial advisors might do seminars, or people do them about cyber issues, or parenting, or how to create video, or insert whatever it is your potential clients or clients really want to know, but you can't do it effectively in these little short bites. It's easier than ever to get online and offer these things. Throw some out there. You don't have to be a college professor in order to host this. Come up with a five things is almost always the easy sell. Here are the five things you need to know about whatever topic it is. You don't know what to write? You have five stories, I guarantee it. Take a minute or two, go into the detail of each story, and then an action item for each. And you, my friend, have a seminar. And then, better yet, after you have that seminar, guess what you can do? Break out all of those little pieces of content and use them for social media, written content, or anything else. This will not be for all of you. I am a believer in podcasting. Earlier, when I was talking about how social media might not be an immediate driver, but it's the long tail, podcasting is the super long tail. I have a lot of podcasters tell me it takes being live for maybe a year plus to get real followers of people to pay attention to you. The purpose of it is a couple of reasons. First and foremost, it's probably therapeutic for you to speak out all of the things that you're thinking about on a consistent basis. And then it gives you a chance, if you go interview style, to talk to people who may not normally give you a chance to interview them or chat with them. But most importantly, it helps you build authority. It gives you a chance, possibly even to get on other people's podcasts. But lastly, it gives you content to share and to have. So this is a lot of different information. Each and every one of those marketing activities can and maybe eventually will be its own module here. But if you're in an existing business, just one of the easiest ways, don't forget about your existing customer. There's a lot of big business out there that's always offering deals to new customers, not existing customers, and it's a big mistake. You want to be able to offer to have referral programs, loyalty programs, but just follow up with your customers on a semi regular basis. So people will ask, how do I make time for all of this? I want to run my business. I have a vision. I got employees. I got daily activities. Charles, I got to check email. Marketing is going to be one of, if not the most important thing you do in your business. Anybody that's taken sales training, the first thing they tell you, nothing happens until something is sold. That's your job. I tell folks, if you go to a doctor, you make an appointment. My back hurts. I'm seeing a chiropractor. I do not get so busy that I just don't get to it. That's what happens with marketing. I'll follow up with the client. Say, hey, did you record that video? Did you make the Facebook post? Did you write the guide? Just got so busy. It's good being busy. Sometimes, most of the time, it's not. If it's not revenue generating, create a doctor's appointment and put it on your calendar. But in this case, it's your marketing activities. And better yet, batch them together. By batching them together, you're going to create content, but it's going to be half of a day or a full day each month, and you create it all at once. Don't let anybody else disturb you. The reason I say it's like a doctor's appointment, if I go to the doctor, when I come out of the doctor's office, my business is still there. Nothing caught on fire. We create a bunch of scenarios in our head that if we're not active and checking our email every 2 seconds, that something bad will happen. Murphy's law is hard to kick in at that point. Murphy's law stating if something can go wrong, it will. Use an electronic calendar. I'm big on Outlook, but you can also use Google Calendars. What I recommend to people is that you block off time, you color code it because we're very visual. And if you don't have enough of the whatever color code you use for marketing, you'll realize, well, my sales will follow that. So block off time. For most people, your content creation, if you batch it together, mornings seem to work better. We're in more of a free flow of thinking. I know not everybody does. They don't get some folks will swear they don't get sparked until 8 p.m. That's the minority, not the majority. Block out that time. Don't let anybody else have it. Create it like a doctor's appointment. If you don't, you will go back to a previous analogy I used about buying a new car and then not putting gas in it. If you do not create the content, if you do not schedule, if you do not post it, if you do not engage with others, if you don't go to prospecting, sales meetings, referral meetings, chatting with people, your sales will look like this. So, what's your homework? Create just one piece of content, one. I don't care what it is, and then find a couple of ways to repurpose it. Shoot a short video, turn it into audio, turn it into text, turn it in whatever, or write something else, and then write something long and turn it into a couple of you know posts. Uh, That's your homework. Just get started. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be right. It won't be, but you got to get going somewhere. For anything else, you know how to get in touch with us.